Good evening and welcome to our Tuesday night call. Sandy from Illinois and I were visiting just, 10 minutes or so ago. And to kick off tonight, I wanted to share something with you that happened just before this call started, just before Sandy got on the phone and we got going here. Most of you know that as someone who's retired and a senior citizen, 70 years old, I have a 10-year-old son and I'm a single father. And he moved into my office here within the last few months and has basically taken it over. And I've sent some emails to you recently about you got to love what you do. If you don't, it speaks volumes. And when I'm getting ready for this call tonight and getting my notes together and spreading everything out on the desk, I'm watching this little guy out of my corner of my eye, and Sethi is building from scratch a PowerPoint presentation. Now, mind you, he's just 10 in 4th grade. And I'm thinking to myself, yeah, right, I can't do it, so I know he can. And I'm watching him put the background in and pictures in, and they're going in a circle, and titles are coming and going and fading, and there's a slide presentation. And I'm watching this for about an hour, maybe an hour and a half, because I was trying to spend some time getting ready for the call. And I finally couldn't take it anymore, and I said, who taught you to do that? Well, we learned that at school, Dad. Well, how long did it take you? Well, we just started this week. I says, today's Tuesday. I know, it's fun. And I says, what's fun about it? Oh, Dad, it's fun. Now, I was telling Sandy, this is a little guy that can't pick up his clothes, won't put his dishes in the sink, yada, yada, yada. Won't brush his teeth, but he's building this PowerPoint presentation to die for. So what's the analogy here? What's the moral of the story? To him, doing something that I consider complicated is fun, and because it's fun, he can do it. But what he's not comfortable with or what he doesn't like, picking up his clothes, he can't do it. Well, we all know he can, but he won't. So the analogy is as students, as friends, as guests of this call, if you're having whatever issues you are with your business, if you'd spend a little time trying to figure out how you could enjoy a little bit more of what you're doing, maybe it would be a little more fun when you have these troubling moments, like my 10-year-old who can do a PowerPoint that his old dad with a PhD can't do. So with that story set aside, I'm ready to go to work. Naomi, are you here? Naomi?
Yes, John. Yes.
Okay. Last week in our call, we talked about listening, and we talked about an individual that had certain characteristics. And can anybody remember some of the characteristics that we uncovered in last week's call? I know Steve has a memory like an elephant. Could you help me out here, Steve?
Yes, very methodical. At the beginning, very, very suspect, but later on seemed to open up a little bit. Had a management background, approached it from a management point of view, and never owned a business before. That was a concern, but very reserved person, individual, and but at the end was accepting to go to the next step.
Good, thank you. Steve, I don't know what's wrong with your phone, but we couldn't hardly hear you at all.
I'm sorry, I got it on speaker.
Oh, now it's perfect. Could you say that again? Because, honest to goodness, we couldn't hear you.
I'm sorry. Very methodical person, came from a management background, very, wanted to cross the I's and cross the T's and dot the I's. Very, very suspicious at the beginning. I didn't know quite what she was getting into, but at the end, opened up and was willing to go to the next step.
Okay, all right. Well, tonight we're going to go to part 2 of this process, and we're going to talk to Naomi all over again, and she's going to put on her Katharine Hepburn face and be another person, and we're going to see if we can discover what these issues are, how to address them by asking questions and not being defensive, and to see if we can connect with whatever these issues are. So, Naomi, is it okay for us to proceed?
Sure.
Oh, when she says sure like that, I know I'm in for it. Okay, here we go. Hello, Naomi?
Yes?
Naomi, my name is John Met, and I'm just getting back to you because you recently wanted some information. I believe it was no obligation information, and it's free, of course, about working from home, making some money, and just to put you at ease, I'm not a salesman or telemarketer, nor am I going to ask you for any monies. I'm just giving you a call back regarding the information that you wanted. So, may I ask, what brought you to the realization that you wanted to go through this process and own your own business?
Oh, well, it kind of sounds like fun. I'm so glad, dear, that you called. So, I'm ready to hear.
You want to hear? Okay. Well, with your permission, may I focus on you for a minute or two to see if what we have makes any sense to you or not?
Okay.
Okay. What is it, if you're anxious to talk and everything, what is it that you're looking for? Have you thought about this, Naomi?
No, I've been doing a little thinking here and there, and a little investigating here and there, and I get some phone calls from the nicest people, and it's fun.
Okay. With what you've been looking at, have you seen anything that you like yet?
Oh, dear, I don't know. It takes such a while to look at this stuff. But I am.
Okay. Have you seen anything that you like yet?
It's all very nice.
It's all very nice? Okay. I'm curious, what is it about what you saw specifically that you found appealing?
Oh, the camaraderie is nice. Oh, the pictures on the internet. Oh, they do such a good job. And people call back. And we have nice conversations. And they tell me all these stories.
Okay, we gotta pause here and talk about this, everybody. Okay, I don't know who wants to go first. Anybody want to give me some thoughts on what kind of a marketer we're talking to?
This is Romana.
Yes.
Well, she seems open, but clearly hasn't been able to define what she's looking to get out of the business, or what she's even using to evaluate the business. It's all been kind of fluff.
Okay. Look behind all of that, Romana. Do you see or feel anything else, please? You're very good at this, so tell us what you feel.
She's a person that I think she's interpersonal, if you will. I just think she needs some very specific guiding questions at this point.
Okay. I'd like to ask you a question, Romana. Did you get any feeling whatsoever that this very nice lady enjoys the social aspect of getting all of this attention from all of these calls, the entertainment, and that she's basically lonely and enjoying this, and she's no more ready to start a business than I am to learn how to do a PowerPoint presentation?
That's an excellent question. I get the sense that she enjoys the phone interaction and looking at those, as you said, the attention she gets, or the pictures. Those, I think she used the word, those pretty pictures. But I don't know that at this point I would conclude that that I wouldn't work with her to find out more.
Okay.
I mean, she's very nice.
Yes, she is.
But all I've heard is sort of fluff. I haven't heard any specifics.
Okay. Well, we'll continue on with this process, but I would like to go on record that I think she's enjoying the attention and the call, and that she'll take all the calls that come in, but I don't get the feeling that she really, is genuinely serious about working a business. If I'm wrong, we'll all have fun laughing about it, okay? All right. Naomi, can we continue on, please?
Sure.
I'm curious, Naomi, when you think about having a business of your own and all that you've been doing and looking at it, what kind of experience do you have that you believe you could bring to owning your own business, Naomi?
Well, I don't know. I like people.
Wonderful.
I like people a lot.
Uh-huh.
I like to talk and I like to listen.
Uh-huh.
And I like to, mess around on the computer.
Okay. And in working your own business, are you aware that you would have to put in 10, 15 hours a week?
Well, I could do that.
You could do that? Okay. All right. And when I asked you about your experience, that you like to talk to people and you like to listen and you like people, what kind of employment or what kind of jobs or what kind of experience have you had in the past?
Well, let's see. I raised 4 children. I kept a household.
Uh-huh.
I was on the PTA for many years.
Okay.
Had to do stuff for them and took care of neighbors and my family.
Okay. Do you know anyone, Naomi, who's owned a business of their own like this?
No.
Okay. All right. When you think about having your own business, Naomi, how do you see yourself being involved in a business of your own? How do you see it? I mean, if you could wave a magic wand, what would you want to do in order to work your own business?
I've been thinking about that too. I just haven't come up with anything. That's the reason why I like to call, so that people can tell me about the business. Are you going to tell me about the business?
Well, I would prefer to discuss it with you. We don't really do a lot of telling in this business because people don't like to be told anymore, okay? But you and I are having a conversation now, aren't we?
Yes.
Okay. And we're trying to discover if what we have fits you or not, and whether or not you would qualify to work with us and we would qualify to work with you. Do you get that sense in the conversation we're having?
I don't know.
You don't know? Okay. All right. If I explain to you that what we do is we return people's calls, like we're returning yours, and we have a conversation with them and try to figure out if what we have will fit them or not, or whether or not they would be comfortable doing what you and I are doing, returning calls to people, asking them questions, finding out what their interest level is, what their needs are. How much money do you want to make? How long will you work at the business before you give up on it? All those types of questions. Can you see yourself asking those kind of questions and visiting with someone to collect that information?
I guess if I had a list of the questions, sure.
Okay. All right. If I gave you an evaluation tool that would allow you to really look deeply into something and analyze it and make sure that you could really get comfortable by knowing everything you needed to know up front, what the budget was, what kind of support you'd have, what the business plan looked like, how the business operated. If you had all that information, would you have the time to look at it and study it?
Sure, I think it would take me a while to do that.
Okay. When you say a while, are we talking about a day or so, or what works best for you?
Oh, no, dear. I think it would take me longer than that.
Take you longer than...
How long have you been doing the business?
How long have I been? I've been in the business about 16 years.
16 years.
Yes, ma'am?
I see. So you've been doing it a long time, so you're like an expert.
No, I'm not an expert, no. But when I started out, I was where you were, only I didn't have any support. I did it my own, and it was very hard for me in the beginning because I didn't know what to do. And that is why we're having this conversation, because the only fair way for you to make a decision is to know, Naomi, what is expected of you up front before you even think about making a decision. Does that make sense?
Sure, I guess so. So, you're going to send me some information so I can...
I would love to send you... Yes, I would love to send you some information, and you can study it, and then we'll get together. How long will it take you to review this information?
At least a week.
A week, okay. So if I was to call you back and we were to talk on next Tuesday, the 1st of the month, would that be okay with you the same time?
Sure.
Okay, all righty. I'm going to stop right now. We're going to take one more pause before we close up this call with this nice lady. Okay, Vanessa, Steve, all the other co-hosts that are on this call, I want to hear from you. Give me your thoughts, please.
Well, John, this is Steve.
Yes, sir?
Yeah, she's not a serious person. She's got no focus, no discipline. When you call her back in a week and talk to her, if she answers the phone, it'll be the same situation. I would just say, if you're interested, give me a call back and move on.
Uh-huh. And there's nothing... I mean, this is a wonderfully, wonderfully nice, caring, kind person. But Steve just said it better than I did. She doesn't fit the business. Does anybody disagree with that?
Hey, John, this is Vanessa.
Yes, ma'am.
I don't disagree at all. I think she's very vague.
Uh-huh.
And I just think that it would just be hard trying to work with somebody that's not, as far as their decisions, they can't really make a decision. They're just really just going here and there. I just think it would be difficult trying to train them and have them follow through on what you're asking them to do. It doesn't take it very seriously.
So what we've learned so far tonight, and please correct me, co-hosts, if I'm going the wrong direction, because we're in this together, is that when you get someone on the phone as nice and as caring and as considerate as this person is, focus on what you're really hearing and ask yourself, okay, so we had a wonderful conversation. We could have talked for another half an hour, but is this person someone that would understand and be able to focus on what needs to be done to be successful in the business? And that is a judgment call that only you, as a business owner, can make. Because if we had 30 people as co-hosts right now, I'm sure there would be several of them that would go to the second call and do everything they could to bring this person on board and perhaps wonder why nothing ever happened. But the point is what do you see? What do you feel? What did you hear? Anybody else have a comment?
John, this is Romana.
Yes, ma'am.
So here's my question. I totally agree that I think the likelihood of her going anywhere with this is highly unlikely.
Uh-huh.
So my question is, going back to the first part of the conversation.
Yes, ma'am.
And given the very soft kind of, non-responses that she was providing, would you have terminated the call at that point?
She's so nice. No, I wouldn't have. I would have given her a few more minutes because she was such a joy to talk to. She deserved the respect. I would send her the information, and like Steve said, I would call her back next Tuesday. I would give her the benefit of the doubt because there's always that 1 in 10 chance that maybe I read her wrong. Maybe she could get excited about something. So I would go the extra step for her, but in the back of my mind, in my notes, if you take good notes when you're talking to a prospect, I would focus on what I heard. But I would still...
Yeah, I think the only maybe other consideration, and maybe Steve said this already, so I apologize if I'm repeating, rather than you calling her back is just saying that if when she's gone through the self-assessment, if she still is interested in additional information, for her to call you back.
Absolutely, yes. And again, Romana, that's very good. It is your judgment call because it's your business. And whether you call them or they call you is your call. It's your business and your prospect. And neither one are wrong. It's how you feel about it. Naomi?
Yes.
You crafted this. Could you please tell us what we missed?
Okay, well, with each of these sessions, what I do is I write down 3 personality traits and see if the people get them or not. And you got 2 immediately on the first pause. This is a lonely old lady who's very nice. Here's the one that people miss. She's a procrastinator.
Uh-huh. You're right. I missed it. Did anybody else pick up on that procrastination?
Well, here were 2 avenues I thought of, John. When I said that I've been getting lots of calls and that they're all very nice, I think I would have led some of the questions down that road. Well, you asked, what are you finding? Well, how long have you been receiving some of the questions? Now, of course, I already know I wrote down the procrastination, or how long have you been looking for a business? And that would be a telltale sign. The other sign was at the end when you said how long before we can talk again, then it would be, I think
a week. Okay.
Yeah.
Now, with all due respect to you, because you played the role of such a sweet, nice lady, I didn't go near why would it take you a week to go through this paperwork? I mean, we all know what that question is and how it works. I didn't have the heart to do it, okay? The way you came across, I just didn't have the heart to do that to you. Even though it was going through my mind and I wanted that Zayer so bad I could taste it. But I backed off because the message I was trying to convey is that this is a very nice old lady. She doesn't need any pressure. Just respect her for who she is and give her the information and let her go. Mm-hmm. She deserved the respect. Okay. Naomi, do you have anything else that we could do here real quick in about 10, 15 minutes? You ready to do one more?
I wasn't really, no, my mind isn't set to do another one.
Okay. All right. Very good. Okay. Any questions from our co-hosts that you felt we should have asked that we didn't? Deanna, do you have any questions? Or Jamal? Vanessa? Go ahead.
John, it's Jamal.
Yes, sir.
I guess, like you said, she was so nice, like you said, she seemed so bubbly. It was kind of, the only thing I could think of the question I asked was, to how, I guess, to get off the phone with some sense of I don't know, I don't want to say grace or dignity about the fact, but I guess just from the first session, I got the impression that it wasn't going to fit, not because of the procrastination aspect, but just because she couldn't seem to hold one train of thought at any given time. So I guess that's the part, I guess, the question that I would ask you is how do you disengage from a situation like that and still be respectful to the person?
Well, since I'm 70 and my mother was alive until last Christmas, I've gone through what it's like to talk to an elderly person like that. And all I could do was just be respectful and love them for who they are, whether they made any sense or not, Jamal.
Okay.
Any other comments or questions? Anybody disagree with how we worked with this elderly person and her personality? Anybody see it any differently?
John, this is Romana again.
Yes, ma'am.
I don't know whether it would make any difference in the end, but when she talked about, when you asked her about her work experience, and she said that she worked for a number, or was involved for a number of years in PTA, and I thought that it would have been interesting to find out whether, was she a leader or a follower? And that may have gotten us to that procrastination conclusion that Naomi was talking about.
You're absolutely right. And because I'd already made up my own mind, I didn't go there. But that doesn't mean that because I made up my mind, I shouldn't have asked that question. So I agree with you, Romana. I agree with you. I should have asked that question. Any other comments or observations? Okay, I'm going to open up the floor to our guests, see how they feel about it. Let me open up the floor and get questions from our guests, please.
All callers are unmuted.
The call's unmuted. Who has a question, please?
John?
Yes.
This is Linda O'Fallon.
Yes.
I could really identify with a lot of what you were saying about the individual you were talking to. I actually am 70, and I think I'm a nice old lady. And I spent a lifetime doing what she did with 8 kids and 22 grandkids. But did I miss it? Did somewhere along the line, I don't think I ever heard a question directed at why she would want a business.
I didn't ask her that question. I didn't ask her because her introductory statements were all about the social aspect of it. Very nice. She loved all the calls. She liked to look at the pretty pictures. The phone calls were fun. How anxious she was. Call it jumping the gun, but she painted the picture for me right then and there. Okay?
Well, I totally agreed with you and all the comments that were made. And I did see that. The first thing I wrote down as you were asking questions was non-marketer. But
that's right.
I did. It seemed interesting to me that she would choose that way to get people to call her.
Oh, Linda,
website and say I'm looking for.
Oh, Linda, you just touched the what's that word? Tip of the iceberg.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
Well, you can tell I'm fairly new to this then.
That's all right. You just brought up a wonderful point, and bless you for bringing it up. Many people, especially elderly people, socially, are either alone or bored. And when I hear someone that has this type of a personality, more often than not, it's because they are bored or they want someone to talk to. They want someone to pay attention to them. And the social aspect of it, and if you think you have something, and it turns out that really you've just made a new friend, but this is not a business partner. You've made a new friend. And
but are we not also? I mean, I would assume we all have products. And although this isn't a selling call, I know in our particular company, they talk about our business meeting a lot of different needs, and social is one of them.
Right.
And, for someone along the line, a person who does just a little bit of business is still a blessing.
It is.
For themselves and others, too. But anyway,
No, you touched it. This is 2 good points for you. You're saying you're new, but your comments are wonderful. Your second comment is who says she wouldn't be a good product user and not a business builder? So if you have a wellness product, something an elderly person would be, and by the way, Linda, you and I are the same age. I guess you know that.
Yeah, I heard you say that. I didn't think you were. I mean, I've been listening for about 7 or 8 months now.
No.
So I didn't think you were that old.
I'll be 71 in September, just in case you want to send me a Christmas card or a birthday present or something.
That's fair.
Okay. But does it mean that this nice lady couldn't have been a product user, and when you got to your second call, you could have brought up that subject? I don't know if the business is, something that you would want to do, but would you like to try the product? And if you like the product, you could always talk to your friends, and they could be product users too, and you could just focus on the product. And
absolutely.
And this senior citizen may be, the leader of her church and could bring in 25 product users over the next 6 months, that would have been a blessing.
Well, I do know in my particular company, we've got quite a few older people, and one in particular, I remember his, there's an echo, and I don't know why.
Yeah, someone needs to mute out their phone. It's creating an echo. Please. Go ahead, Linda.
Okay. Well, the son introduced the father to the product, and it got him off his couch. He was playing golf again. He was doing all kinds of things. And basically, when people would ask, he'd say, all my friends take this. All the people I know are taking this. The rest are dead. It's kind of a funny thing to say, but it built him a business that was bringing him in like $4,000 a month, and he wasn't really. He was a retired old man.
That's right.
He died at 92. So I don't think you can ever discount him. But I sure heard all the things you were saying, and she did seem like she was lapping. The only word I can think of is lapping up all the attention, and it just sounds like she was lonely.
That's right. Absolutely. Any other questions? Thank you, Linda. Thank you very much. Any other questions or comments?
It's Robert.
Yes, Robert.
How are you tonight?
Fine. What's happening, buddy?
Good. I think when I'm making phone calls and I'm early into a conversation and I feel someone's kind of maybe wishy-washy, I'll just come right out and ask them, are you looking for a business or a job? And, when I think someone might be a waste of time, because you have a lot of phone calls to make and you definitely don't want to waste time, disqualify them right away with that question. Maybe not as blunt as that, but get it across and see, where they go from there.
Absolutely. Thank you, Robert. Are you still at work?
I'm just getting here now. On Tuesday nights, I listen to the phone call on my way to work.
All right. Bless you. Okay. Anybody else have a comment or a question?
John?
Yes.
Hi, this is Marcia.
Hello, Marcia. How are you?
I'm fine, and you? What was coming to my mind about her is that she may be a very good asset in fact that she likes so much to call, to make calls. So I would suggest her to call, people, that's what she would be doing. She would be calling people, and, that way people would join her group. So if she really wants to make money or she needs money, first of all, I would go to that route if she really wants to make money or just the social part. But either way, she would be able to make money.
Okay.
I have some echo.
Yes. Someone keep muting themselves in and out, and that's what's causing it. Okay. Thank you, Marcia.
Okay.
Bless you, young lady. Anybody else have a question or a comment? Are you sure? Okay. Next week, we're going to continue on with this process and all kinds of different personalities, and we're going to be doing this for at least the next 5 or 6 weeks till we get all of the different types of personalities covered, so you have a complete set of audios for all these different folks and all the different personalities and how to recognize these situations. So unless we have any more questions, I want to wish everybody a wonderful week. Say good night, God bless you, and I'll see you all next week.